All right, good afternoon, everybody. We will go ahead and get started standing, okay? So go ahead and grab whatever you need, water, anything like that. There's really no other blocks or anything that you'll need. So let's just go ahead and get going. So we're gonna start, reach those arms up really, really tall. You can even interlace those fingers. So think, pull those arms back. So try to get those arms back by the biceps. Try not to arch to the back too much. So keep that core tight, stretching out through those arms, the shoulders. And now lowering that right hand down, left arm reaches up, then find that side bend over to that right side. Good, inhale, bring it back up. Let's go to the other side. Lower that left hand down, right arm reaches up and over. Good, bring it back up again. Interlace those fingers, pulling those arms back. And then we'll draw those elbows down. So finding that field goal position. And so opening up through the chest, core stays tight. And then we're gonna interlace those fingers behind the back. Draw those knuckles down, bring those arms away from the hips, from the back. Take a couple breaths here. This might be a little tight if you've been hunched over a computer all morning. And then go ahead and release those arms back up. Let's go and find that side bend again, over to that right side. Inhale it back up. Let's go over to that left side. Good, bring it back up. Draw those elbows down. Bring those arms long. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Pull those knuckles down and then hands away from those hips. One more time. Through reaching the arms up. Let's go side bend over to the right. Inhale it back up. Exhale it to the left. Inhale, reach it up. Draw the elbows down. Interlace those fingers. Big lift through that chest. Good, then release those arms up. Flat back, we're gonna fold it forward. So lowering the hands down to the knees. The shins are all the way down to those ankles. So slightly the knees lifting through those hips. I think we're trying to rotate that tailbone up towards the ground. Big stretch through those hamstrings. Okay, so we might just stay here in this position with the hands on the knees. Might be able to slide those hands down a little bit further. A couple more big breaths. And maybe slide those hands down a little bit further. Just trying to release those muscles along the backs of the legs, those hamstrings. Good, and now just let that head hang heavy. And do a little bit more rounding through the spine. Maybe working those hands down towards the mat. At least maybe down towards the ankle or the feet. Good, then bend into those knees. Come all the way up to standing. This time interlace those fingers, bring those palms up to point towards the ceiling. Let's side bend it over to the right side. And back up, over to the left side. Bring it back up. Now finding that wall, we're gonna bring that palm to face up. Pinky is gonna go on the wall. Just gently twist the torso away from the wall. Relax that shoulder down. Keeping that core tight. And then let's go to the other side. So just go ahead and turn it around. Bring that pinky finger to the wall. Relax the shoulder down. Good. Go ahead and release those arms up. Again, we'll find that forward fold, so the hamstring stretch. Nice flat back to start. Just gently sliding those hands down the legs. You start to feel that release through the hamstring muscles. Good. And maybe you fold, just letting the head and the arms hang heavy. Good. Bend into those knees. Come up to standing. Interlace those fingers. Bring those palms to face up. Go side bend over to that right side. Inhale it up. Over to that left side. Inhale it back up. And then go ahead and release those hands. We're going to do that big step back with our left knee. Just go ahead and lower that knee down. Core stays tight, tailbone stays down, so nice and neutral through our torso. And then press those hips forward. So starting to feel that stretch through this left hip flexor. You can just keep those hands on the hips. Here we're going to be a little bit more active with this. So press your right heel and right toes into the mat. And pull that heel back. Okay, now left knee is pressing into the mat and pull that knee forward. Now, if it's not super comfortable on the knee, especially if you're on a hardwood surface, you can throw a towel or something underneath that knee. Hold it another breath or two. Really active through those legs. So now this right leg, you're pressing that heel down and pulling back, but you feel the muscles along the hamstring, the glutes start to fire a little bit. Maybe press it forward a little bit more. And then we'll release. Straighten that front leg, flat back as we fold over a straight leg. We'll feel this one a little bit more in the hamstrings. Now rebend into that front knee. Same idea. Okay, core tight, active through the legs. Reach the left arm up this time, and then find that side stretch. Good, now go ahead and release it. Straighten that front leg and fold. We bend into that front knee and step the feet forward. Come and stand up, bring the hands to the hips. We'll go the other side. Big step back with that right foot. Okay. Lower that knee down. Core tight, hips are pressing forward. Okay, now pressing into that left foot. Pull that knee back. Pull the heel back. The right knee is going to pull forward. Core stays tight. Just hold it here. Pressing the hips forward little by little till we start to feel that release through that hip flexor and through that quad muscle. And now we'll straighten that front leg as we pull the toes back and fold. Good, now rebend into that front knee. You can come back to that lunge. Okay, we'll reach that right hand up this time and find that side stretch over to that left side. And then bring it back up. Again, let's just straighten that front leg one last time. And now rebend. And then step both feet up to the top of the mat, finding that forward fold. So flat back on that inhale, and then exhale, slide those hands down a little bit further. Let's reach those arms back up overhead. Interlace those fingers, palms up, side bend to the right. Inhale it back up, side bend to the left. And inhale it back up. Let's go to the wall. Palm is up. Pinky finger presses into the wall. And then twist just gently away from the wall. And then we'll switch to the other side. Palm is up, press that hand into it as we twist away. And then we'll untwist. Again, find that top of the mat, or hands to the hips, big step back with that left foot. Lower that knee down, pressing those hips forward. And we'll reach that left arm up and over. And then we'll bring it back up, straighten that front leg as we fold over that right leg. Flex the right foot, pull those toes back. Then we get that stretch through that calf and through that hamstring too. Now, staying in this position, lift up. So we want that back nice and flat. So you might have to come onto your fingertips of the left hand, or you can even place the left hand on your shin leg. So now we're going to twist, reaching that right arm up. Now as we twist, my hip's not going out with it. My hips staying down and back as we twist, open up. So need a little bit more stretch through this outer hip when we do this. Lower that hand down. Let's go ahead and step it to the front of the mat into standing. And let's go to the other side. Stepping that right leg back. Lower that knee down. Pressing the hips forward. And then we'll reach that right arm up and side stretch. And then bring it back up. Straighten that front leg as we fold over that left leg. Nice flat back. Pulling those left toes back as much as you can. Big stretch to the backs of the legs. Now plant that right hand, twisting, left arm reaches up. Now, hip isn't swaying out to the side. That hip is pulling down and back. Now lower that hand down. Let's go ahead and come back to our hands and knees. Let's do a few cat cows. So core is tight. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, lift the tailbone as we look up. Exhale, we'll round. Draw that belly up and in. Pulling that tailbone down towards the mat. And inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, lift the tailbone, look up. Exhale, round. And inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, round. One more time. Inhale, lift. And round. Okay, now bring it to neutral spine. Go ahead and step those feet back to a plank. So that core is really, really tight. Those feet are about hip distance apart, and then we're squeezing those legs towards each other, so really strong through those legs. Okay, from here, we're just going to drop the heels over to the right side. Keep your legs straight, but your heels are dropping. Your hands are staying in place. Bring it to center, and then drop the heels over to the left. Center to the right. Center to the left. To the right. To the left. Let's do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it to center. Then go ahead and lower those knees down. Hips, bulk makes their way back to the heels, resting the head down. So the knees can be a little close together for rounding through that spine, or if you want a little bit more opening through the hips, bring the toes together, knees a little bit wider, and then really pull that chest down in between those legs. Maybe even that chin can come rest on the mat. So we'll stretch through the upper back too. And now come onto your backs. So roll it on down. Plant those feet about hip distance apart. And you want the heels fairly close to those glutes. Okay, shoulder blades will walk together. Arms can come just right by the sides. Press into those heels. Lift those hips up. And roll it back down. And press and lift. And back down. Okay, we got 3 more. Press, lift the hips up. And down. We should start to feel this through the glutes, through the hamstrings. Press and lift. And down. Let's go. Last 2. Press, lift. And down. Last one, we're going to lift and we're going to hold it. So press into those heels. Drawing those heels back towards the torso, towards the body. Really feel the hamstrings and those glutes firing and holding it here. A couple more breaths. Let's go 3, 2, and 1. Roll those hips down. Go and just rock the knees or drop the knees over to the right side. Feet can stay down in place. Back to center. Knees to the left. Center to the right. Just keep going back and forth. Bringing the knees back to center. Once you've hit both sides, cross that left ankle over that knee, pulling that right knee into the chest, grabbing onto that hamstring or to that left shin. And draw that tailbone down, lifting that chest, the low back. The tailbone stays grounded down. So you want to feel like the vertebrae are lifted up and away from the mat, not digging in. If you feel like they are digging into the mat, your tailbone is probably lifted. So try to glue that back down. And release it. Let's go to the other side. Crossing that right ankle over, hugging that hamstring or hugging onto that shin. Again, tailbone down, chest lifted, and then this right foot is flexed. So pulling the toes and foot back to the shin. And release. Just go ahead and hug both knees into your chest for a moment. Maybe rock from side to side. Might feel kind of good to massage out through that low back. Maybe the tops of those glutes over to the hips. And now we'll keep that right knee hugged in. Just extend that left leg out straight. And then with that left hand, twist that knee across. Right arm is going to reach out for that spinal twist. So we want that right shoulder to be grounded down. And hip bones are stacked. So that right hip bone, we're working towards getting it to point up towards the ceiling. If it's not there today, don't force it to get there. Just breathe. With the exhale, you can find a little bit more rotation. bring it back up. Let's go ahead and switch sides. Hug that left knee in. Right leg extends out. And then we got a twist. Bringing that left knee across. Left arm reaches out. So we're going to use that breath, maybe find a little bit more twist. And go ahead and bring that knee back up. Go ahead and just hug the knees, rock it forward and back. We'll come up to that seated position. So last one, we're going to bring the bottoms of the feet together, grabbing onto those ankles, sitting up nice and tall. Okay, so with that nice flat back, okay, we're just going to start to hinge it forward. So if you're really tight to the inner thighs, you might be up a little bit higher. You might be even sitting up all the way here, and you can just work towards pressing those knees down. That's fine. Just kind of finding wherever you're at. And some of you might even be able to bring your chest all the way down to those feet. Okay, great, good, go for it. But if not, maybe find somewhere kind of in between being completely straight up and being completely on your feet. And bring it back up. All right, thank you guys so much for joining me. Have a great rest of your day. If anyone is interested in a power yoga or more like an intermediate type yoga, this afternoon, that starts at 4:45 with me. All right, thanks guys, have a good one.